Hello folks. When I made my previous pen video, it seemed like there was quite some interest in demonstrations of similar objects. And I thought to myself, well, pens aren't really all that fascinating when you think about it. It's a stick that makes a bit of color come out at the end. However, one of my viewers recommended a pen called or pencil it was, called the Kuratoga, and I will absolutely be getting myself one of those because the very concept of a pencil that spins the lead is quite bizarre, but also incredibly neat. And bizarre yet neat things is what I'm all about. So, instead today I have a different object to show you. And I thought, why not do an unboxing, because quite frankly I haven't unboxed many things on this channel before and I just got it, so let's pop this thing open. Now, what we will be looking at here is another Lamy pen, just much like the previous couple ones I showed you, the mechanical pencil and the 4-color. However, this is a fountain pen that I chose after wanting to replace my previous fountain pen on account of it drying up extensively. Now the box itself is quite nice. It has a little, I would presume it's a metal plaque. Now it's definitely not metal because it's some sort of plastic, but regardless. It has a little manual with a leaflet I will read. Oh, that's neat. So it just opens straight up to my page. So you take the pen out, you do a spinny thing, you stick it into the black stuff, you do another spinny thing, and a third spinny thing, and a fourth spinny thing, and then you are good to go. I think I'll be able to manage that. And here is the thing itself. Now, the box will be excused. This right here is the Lamy 2000 fountain pen. Sort of FD-esque. Has a neat feel to it. It's solid and quite lightweight on account of being fiberglass, as another one of my viewers very kindly corrected me. It has a recessed nib. Quite small, doesn't look like most other fountain pens I've seen. Most of them are quite boastful of their fountain penniness. But this one is quite subtle in a way. Clicks on, clicks off. Pretty neat. Someone described this feeling as unusually luxurious, but I don't quite know what they're on about. It's the clicking of a pen cap. I don't know. Some people will obsess over most things as long as whatever they're fancying is posh enough. And this pen is quite posh indeed. In fact, the nib itself is supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not, but if the pen seller makes this claim, it probably is true that it is 14 carats of gold covered in platinum. Now, any viewers who might be able to know a bit more about pens, you are more than welcome to explain to me why this is necessary and you can't just use aluminium or steel instead. But it is the way it is, I suppose. The fabled twisty thing is in the back, much like the pen I showed you not yesterday, but in the previous video rather. It is virtually invisible and flush with the body of the pen, but when twisted it will retract the piston and it would now then be ready for filling, which I intend to do, because honestly what is the point of a video about a brand new pen if you can't fill her up and actually make some use of it? So, I'm going to get right on that. Refilling a fountain pen is going to require a bit of equipment. For instance, it's going to require some ink. I have a bottle of some variety of Parker ink. It says Quink on it. That feels vaguely rude. It's a darkish color, black or blue probably. It doesn't really matter as long as it writes nice, which I hope it does. Now, this stuff dried up an awful lot in my other fountain pen, to the point actually where it managed to quite upset me when I filled the pen up. And 2 days later, I tried to write something with the pen, and I noticed that I am in fact not writing anything. So as opposed to writing, I just managed to produce a set of ink dust. Ink dust is not very useful for many things. Another good thing to have on hand when you are refilling a pen is some paper, because you will get messy. So let's get this show on the road. I will take the cap off and open the bottle up. Sounds quite doomsday-ish. Those are some metal chairs that have decided to make their presence known. Looks quite like some form of purple sort of thing, but we shall see. So I will take the pen and unscrew or raise the piston as far as it will go, which is about that far. Now, as instructed, I will then just take it and gently dip the nib. Oh no, it's quite dark, so difficult to see, but about that deep, and twist. And then they suggested that what I should do is twist one turn until there is a drip, and then go back the other way. And once that is done, pen is filled, I'll move the bottle away. Keep this here in case of drips, and take the paper and just gently wipe it off. We can already see that it has begun being capable of writing. But now the question that we ask ourselves is, how does it write in general? So, closing an ink bottle is always really good practice. And the doom chair is back upon us again. So, let's see how it writes. Okay, so the pen has been filled. Maybe refilled if it has been quality controlled, but we shall see. The nib itself is mostly clean. See if I can just get the last little bits of dirt off of it, because I'm a neat freak like that. Okay, so I will now make an attempt to write something. Of course, very few things write nicer than a freshly inked fountain pen, because while you have your roller balls and your ballpoints that are basically about pressing the ink into the paper, this one is more about using capillary force. So it's the capillary force to on top of the kicker with a fountain pen is then that normally when I write with it, I tend to have far too light pressure, which causes the lines to skip. I think that's mostly a me problem, but yeah, it's probably a me problem. Let's be honest here. I am humble to my flaws. Apart from doing that, you can make some sort of drawing, perhaps. Okay. Someone once taught me, and that very much improved my drawing, even though it's still very much simplistic and I am not particularly artistically inclined, which is that instead of making a single line, you should make several lines. And I have attempted to follow that advice wherever I can, and what I've found is that it gives me a lot nicer drawings. Even though the lines turn out more fuzzy, the inexactness does not really hurt the final outcome of what I'm drawing. So instead of just making a single line, I just make a few sets of lines, like so, and it does not come out quite so excellently, of course, because I am talking while doing it. And the fact of the matter is that I'm more of a computer guy than an artsy type. I have nothing but the utmost respect for people who can do art nicely. It's a talent that I wish I had, but you can't be good at everything, and in fact I would argue that it's highly unlikely that you will be good at most things. Not you, the viewer, of course, because you are highly appreciated. I mean the general you, whereas you will find in the world there are a lot of things that you can learn. One of them is to draw properly, which I never really succeeded at doing. So instead, here I am, doing some sort of doodle on a paper with a brand new pen. And this brand new pen has a platinum and gold nib for reasons that quite frankly escape me. So let's see, we have this little cat now. He needs some sort of pose. Yeah, that sort of do it. Ask me about calculators, ask me about SQL, ask me about Java, but do not ask me about drawing. I mean, you can ask if you are so inclined, but the results you get out of it will be dubious at the very best. What I am finding though, however, is that this this pen is not particularly dubious, and I am enjoying it quite a fair bit. It allows me to have a very light touch, and it weighs basically nothing. So in my view, it does not particularly... See, this is now a bobcat. And as we know, bobcats are kind of mean, so you should beware of this cat. He is a tough guy. So perhaps this was not at all informative, but what I have shown you is that I enjoy writing with it. I will probably use it for note-taking and so on. And I've also proven, indubitably so, that you can draw a silly sun and a cat using this pen. And if that's not what you want out of a pen, I am not entirely sure what to tell you. So, I hope you've enjoyed this. Feel free to leave a comment. Do the like and subscribe thing if you want to look at me. Look at interesting doodads. Just don't expect many more pens, because quite frankly this one is mainly because it matches my other two. And then there is the weird pencil lead spinny one that I'm curious about. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.